I just got back from playing Macquarie Links Golf Club in Sydney, and it was a really timely reminder that golf is never easy, but if you accept that early, you can still score well. Having just jumped out of the car, the opening hole at Macquarie Links is a par 5. My handicap's down to 1.1 at the moment, and it was great to hit this first tee shot into the fairway. In this round, I'm going to try and give you an insight into my thought process on the course, and this was a first chance at good course management. I couldn't tell where the miss was, so I took a 5-wood that I know would stay short of the bunkers. From there, it was a simple wedge into the middle of the green, and I was able to get the round underway relatively easily, given that I've not played for a few weeks. I was expecting a tricky round today because it was my first game back after illness. I had new clubs in the bag, the weather forecast wasn't good, and I've not been playing with much confidence. So that's when course management comes into it. I find there's a big misconception about lope markers. I think people think they're better than they are. And realistically, if you can keep it in play, that's the half the battle. The opening tee shot on this hole was doing just that. And then from here, this was good course management. My target line was left of the green, and it wasn't the best of shot, but because I was aiming left, I've still managed to cling on to the slope. From there, it was a tricky chip, but I have managed to get that one close, making the putt and get away with a par. Moving to the third, this is the sort of shot you wish you didn't have on camera, but it happens. I've topped, thinned that, but at least it's gone straight. My course management, again, had been left, so there'd been space for the miss, and then from here, it was actually not too bad of a shot into the green. That was a 7-iron up there, fairly close to pin high. The putt was across a ridge, which I've left a little bit short, left myself a bit more work than I'd have wanted. This one though finds the bottom of the cup, and again we can move on. The weather's starting to turn by the time we got to the fourth, and this tee shot leaked a bit to the right. There was enough space there for the miss though. From there it's uphill with a wedge into the middle of the green, and this one was solid. It's gone to the back and spun a little bit and left me this downhill putt. Early on on a course you're not too familiar with, you're just trying to get a feel for the pace. So you're always fairly happy if you can get it down there to about 3 or 4 feet and you can get the putt in. The fifth at Macquarie Links is a longish par 3 downhill. Again, not super confident, so I didn't pull the iron, I went for a 5-wood. I figured there'd be a bit of space if I was to go long, and it was the safest shot. I think in summer this would be a scary chip on fast greens going downhill. Because of all the rain though, it was easy enough to control it, and that one's got down there to tap in distance on the par 3. I don't know the course at Macquarie, but it looked like there was a fair bit of space, so the driver here wasn't too much of a worry, and it's gone down there into the right, just on the edge of the fairway. From here I've got about 100 yards to the pin, and this was a really good looking gap wedge, straight at it. Thought it was going to be close, but in the end it's kicked on and just gone off into the fringe. Again, this would be a slopey putt. I think it would be harder if the greens were fast in summer, but I've been able to cozy that one down there. And again, 6 holes in, level par, not playing great. I'm happy with that. The 7th is a par 5 back up the hill. Just trying to get driver into play here. It was a bit narrow up there on the crest of the hill, but I've managed to find the fairway on the right. And from here, this is another course management shot. There was bunkers short of the green, so I pulled the 5-wood to make sure I finished short of them. Just short of them, I was closer than I wanted to be, but that's left me a quite comfortable 50-yard gap away, and I've managed to get the wedge in fairly close. Again, the rain's pounding down, but this one's gone close. That was almost birdied. Moving to the 8th, and it's a shortish par 3. This just was an average shot. It's sort of a push thinnish type 9-iron, but I've managed to find the green right on the right hand side. The putt here is a distance one, again trying to get the pace, really close. It's just flicked the pin and gone a bit further past than you'd want. The greens though are really pure, so I've got a good read on it and was confident I'd make that putt. The 9th is par 4 coming back to the clubhouse, and this is a push driver. Leaked it a couple of times today, and this one's just gone into the trees. From here it's a risk-reward shot with water all the way around the green, but it did feel like a comfortable distance for me, so I've gone at it with the 6-iron and managed to find the front of the green. Really pleased with that shot, and although it's left me a long putt, it's one that I'm starting to feel quite comfortable on the greens, so I wasn't particularly worried about it and could get it up there close. Already I'm feeling like I'm plotting my way round rather than playing great. And the 10th is another par 4, narrow landing area, but this one's a good drive, so that's given me some confidence and left me with a gap wedge into the green. 100 yards is a good distance for me, so I thought I'd go straight at it. It has spun a little and come up short, but again, it's in a really good spot for the putt. Nothing too tricky about that, and it was able to get in there nice and close. The 11th is a beauty of a par 3 over a gorge. All carry, trouble everywhere. You just got to commit to a shot like this. There's not too many places to miss it, so you go at it. In this instance, the 7-iron found the rough on the right, and the chip was a good one. Hit that pin, I think it was travelling, but that saved me, and it's kept me close enough to give me this makeable putt for par. When I get onto the 12th, this is the most conservative play you'll ever see on a par 5. I wasn't seeing where the miss was. I couldn't pick a wood, so I went with the 4-iron and just found the fairway. Again, showing you where I'm targeting it at with the course management, because the second I played with a 7-iron. Again, just trying to keep it in play. I'm at the moment testing some ShotScope products. There's some discount codes below. This was a useful one to really dial in on the distance and fire that wedge into the green. It did spin more than I was thinking, and it's left me back in the fringe. From here, this is probably one of my shots of the day. This wedge, just to get it in tight as the rain's coming down hard now, and I can tap it in with the wedge and get out of there. Although it's a short par 4 on the 13th, I liked the 4-iron play on the last. So my course management, I think, is spot on there, and my aim point was to the left. It was just a bad shot that hit a cart path. This is for my first bad play of the day. I was trying to go over the tree and I just wasn't enough space to do it. It's dumped down and left me another 50 yards into the green for my third shot. This is a good distance for me though, so that's managed to get it into an area where I can have a look at par, and again, it's just one of those days where it does go in. The 14th is played all around the lake, and this is another good course management shot. My aim out there is right, nowhere near the water, and really it's just a steered drive that didn't go very far. That's left me a comfortable 9-iron into the green though, and a hole that could be tricky, especially on a day where I'm not in control of the ball. I've managed to play it pretty safe, fairway, green, 2 putts, and again, course management gets me out of there with a par and carries on. Coming to the 15th, it's just a long, hard par 3, all over water, 200 yards carry. This wasn't a good shot, there was nowhere to miss it, blocked it right, and I've found the water. So the penalty dropped there, and I'm playing 3 here. Again though, I'm at that distance that I like, around 50 yards, and so I've given myself a chance. There was a lot of space to play with, but this one was one of my better wedges, and it's put me in there so I can tap in and make bogey. Not great, but it could have been a lot worse. The 16th is a par 4, and again, just push that drive out to the right. This one's carried the perfect distance to hit a big fairway bunker and leave me a longish shot into the green. I possibly would say this was one of the shots of the day. Try and almost catch it slightly thin out of those fairway bunkers, and I was able to do that and get it onto the green. Not my best putt, kind of misread it and it broke away to the right more than I thought. But again, tidy enough after the tee shot. Moving to 17's a par 5, and I've managed to take it over the trees on the right hand side. When you don't know the course, sometimes you just have to play the shot that you see. Again, 5-wood, comfortable shot for my second, although this has only just carried a gorge which I thought was closer to me than it was. It's left me 100 yards into the green, and I've managed to put a good wedge in there and give myself one of the only looks at birdie I've had all day. Today, this wasn't to be. I've got a par. Not great, I would have liked to have had that shot back, but carrying on and grinding this one out. 18th is my drive of the day. Finally managed to catch one as I want and put myself in A1 position. That said, my next shot was the worst of the day, and it was bad course management. I was going for the right hand side. I don't know why I decided to try and draw this in. The safe play was short and left. That one's bounced off into the lake, and it's left me with this penalty drop. Playing 4, and although that was a solid wedge shot, it's given me a look at bogey. This has slipped by, and I've sort of ruined the score a little bit at the end. I've done so much good course management up to that point. Still, not feeling my best, not having played much recently. I think that's a good demonstration where playing in the right way can still grind out a reasonable score.